I, 30F, am getting married to my fiancé, Alex, 32M, in a few months, and I'm beyond excited. However, family drama is threatening to overshadow what should be the happiest time of my life. To understand the situation, I need to provide some backstory. My mom died in a car accident when I was 3. I don't remember much about her, but I have a few cherished photos and my dad's stories. Dad, 58M, was devastated and threw himself into work to cope. For 2 years, it was just the two of us, with my grandparents helping out when they could. When I was 5, Dad met Sarah, 55F, at a work conference. They hit it off immediately, and within 6 months, they were married. I was the flower girl at their wedding. I remember being excited about having a new mom, but also confused and a little scared. Sarah seemed nice at first. She'd read me bedtime stories and take me to the park. But things changed when I was 6, and Sarah gave birth to my half-sister Lily. From that moment on, it was like a switch flipped. Sarah's attention became solely focused on Lily, and I was pushed to the sidelines. As Lily grew, it became clear that she was the favorite. Sarah would gush over every little thing Lily did, while my achievements were met with indifference. When Lily started school, Sarah volunteered for every event and chaperoned every field trip. She had never done that for me. The favoritism extended to material things, too. Lily always got new clothes and toys, while I got hand-me-downs or was told we couldn't afford things I wanted. Once, when I was 10, I asked for a new bike for my birthday. Dad said we'd see, but then Lily threw a tantrum in a store about wanting a dollhouse. Sarah bought it for her on the spot. I didn't get the bike. As we got older, Lily's behavior towards me worsened. She'd constantly borrow my things without asking, and return them damaged, if at all. When I was 12, I got my first makeup set from a friend for my birthday. A week later, I found Lily, then 6, had used all the eyeshadows to paint her dolls. When I complained to Sarah, she said I should have kept it out of Lily's reach, and that I needed to share with my sister. The incidents continued. My homework would mysteriously go missing right before it was due. My favorite sweater ended up with bleach stains. My journal disappeared, only to reappear weeks later with pages torn out. Each time, Lily had an excuse, and Sarah always believed her. My dad would look uncomfortable, but never said anything. One particularly painful memory stands out. When I was 16, I worked all summer at a local ice cream shop to save up for a silver locket I'd been eyeing. It wasn't anything fancy, but it was the first expensive thing I'd bought with my own money. A week after I bought it, it vanished from my jewelry box. I knew Lily took it, but she denied it. Sarah accused me of being irresponsible and losing it. My dad suggested maybe I'd misplaced it. 2 months later, I saw Lily wearing my locket at a family dinner. When I confronted her, she smirked and said, "Prove it's yours." Sarah yelled at me for accusing my sister of theft. My dad just looked uncomfortable and changed the subject. I cried myself to sleep that night. For my 18th birthday, my grandparents gave me a car. It wasn't new, but it was mine. Lily, then 12, threw a massive tantrum about how unfair it was that I got a car and she didn't. Sarah tried to convince my grandparents to sell the car and split the money between Lily and me. To be fair. Thankfully, they refused. 2 weeks later, I found my car with a huge dent and scratch down the side. Lily swore she didn't do it, and Sarah believed her. My dad suggested I must have hit something and forgotten. I knew it was Lily, but I had no proof. I had to use my college savings to pay for the repairs. When I left for college, it was such a relief to be away from them. I limited contact as much as possible, only coming home for major holidays. Even then, every visit was marred by something going missing or getting damaged. Sarah would accuse me of being careless or forgetful. My dad would try to keep the peace by changing the subject. After graduation, I moved across the country for work. I only see my family once or twice a year now. Lily calls occasionally, usually to brag about her life or ask for money. Last year, she called to tell me she'd gotten into law school and expected me to pay her tuition because that's what big sisters do. When I refused, she called me selfish and said I was jealous of her success. Sarah texts to guilt me about not visiting more often. She'll say things like, "Your sister misses you," or "Your father is getting older, you know." But when I do visit, she spends the whole time praising Lily and criticizing my life. Choices. My dad emails generic updates about extended family, but rarely asks about my life. Last year, I met Alex through a mutual friend. He's incredible, kind, supportive, and makes me feel valued. For the first time, I felt truly loved and appreciated. When he proposed 6 months ago, I was overjoyed. We're planning a small wedding with just close friends and family. Here's where the current drama starts. Lily called last week, demanding to be my maid of honor. I was shocked. We're not close at all. I told her I'd already asked my best friend Emma, who's been there for me through everything. Lily threw a fit, saying as my sister she had the right to be maid of honor. She accused me of trying to exclude her from the wedding. I stood firm and said no. Lily must have complained to Sarah, because Sarah called me the next day. She berated me for excluding Lily and insisted I make her my maid of honor. She said Lily was heartbroken and that I was being cruel. When I refused, Sarah threatened to boycott the wedding. I told her that was her choice. My dad emailed, urging me to keep the peace by letting Lily be a bridesmaid. He said it would mean a lot to Sarah and that it's just one day. I'm furious that once again my dad is prioritizing Sarah and Lily's feelings over mine. I don't want Lily in my bridal party at all. She's never been a sister to me, just a bully. I know she'll find some way to ruin things if I let her be involved. But now Sarah is threatening not to come, and my dad is guilt-tripping me about tearing the family apart. Alex says he'll support whatever decision I make, but he's angry on my behalf. He thinks I should stand my ground and not let them manipulate me. Emma and my other friends are encouraging me to do what makes me happy. Part of me wants to give in just to avoid the drama, but another part of me is tired of always sacrificing my happiness for Lily and Sarah. This is supposed to be my special day, and I don't want to spend it walking on eggshells around Lily. Am I the asshole for refusing to let Lily be my bridesmaid? Should I give in to keep the peace or stand my ground? I feel like I'm going crazy, and any advice would be appreciated. Update. 1. Wow, I didn't expect this post to blow up like it did. Thank you all for your supportive comments and advice. I've read every single one, and they've given me a lot to think about. Here's what's happened since my original post. I showed Alex all your comments. He was even more furious on my behalf after reading about similar experiences others have had. He said he 100% supports whatever decision I make, but he thinks I shouldn't let Lily anywhere near our wedding. We talked it over for hours, and I finally decided to stand firm. Lily will not be a bridesmaid. With Alex's encouragement, I called my dad. I told him my decision was final and explained why. I went into detail about Lily's bullying over the years and how hurt I was that he never stood up for me. I told him about the locket incident, the car, and countless other times when Lily had ruined things for me. I also explained how Sarah's favoritism had made me feel unwanted in my own family. To my shock, my dad broke down crying. He admitted he knew Lily had stolen and damaged my things over the years. He said he was too much of a coward to confront Sarah about it because he was afraid she'd leave him. He confessed that after losing my mom, he was terrified of being alone again, so he let Sarah and Lily get away with everything. He apologized for failing me as a father and said he understood if I couldn't forgive him. While I appreciate his apology, it doesn't erase years of hurt. I told him I forgive him, but our relationship will never be the same. He asked what he could do to make amends. I said he could start by standing up to Sarah and Lily now. To his credit, my dad stepped up. He called Sarah and told her that if she boycotts the wedding, he won't attend either. He said he's tired of pretending everything is okay when it's not. Sarah apparently threw a massive fit. She accused him of choosing me over his real family and said he was betraying Lily. My dad stood his ground and said I was his daughter too, and he was done ignoring how I'd been treated. This led to a huge argument between them. Sarah demanded that my dad make me change my mind. When he refused, she threatened to leave him. My dad, for the first time ever, didn't back down. He told Sarah that if she and Lily couldn't respect his daughter, maybe they should rethink their living situation. Lily then called me, alternating between crying and screaming. She swore she'd changed and begged me to reconsider. She said she'd always looked up to me and just wanted to be close to her big sister. When I pointed out that her actions over the years said otherwise, she got angry. She accused me of being jealous of her and said I was trying to punish her for being Dad's favorite. When I refused to change my mind, she threatened to show up at the wedding anyway and make a scene. I calmly told her that if she does, she'll be escorted out by security. After I hung up, Lily started posting nasty things about me on social media. She accused me of being a jealous, spiteful bitch who was trying to tear the family apart. She claimed I'd always been mean to her and that I was lying about her behavior. Several relatives commented in support of her, saying I was being cruel to my little sister and that family should come first. I was upset at first, but Alex pointed out that Lily was just showing her true colors to everyone. He suggested I post my side of the story. I was hesitant, but after thinking about it, I decided to do it. I made a long post detailing Lily's bullying over the years with specific examples. I included photos of some of the things she'd damaged, including my car. I explained about the locket and other stolen items. I wrote about Sarah's favoritism and how it had affected me growing up. I ended by saying that I was tired of being the family scapegoat and doormat, and that I deserved to have a wedding day free from drama and stress. The response was overwhelming. Many relatives reached out to apologize, saying they had no idea what I'd been through. Several of Lily's friends messaged me privately to say Lily had bragged about stealing my things or framing me for things she'd done. A cousin I haven't spoken to in years called me to say she'd witnessed Lily's behavior at family gatherings, but had been afraid to speak up. Sarah is still insisting I'm exaggerating and need to get over the past. She's been calling my dad constantly, alternating between crying and yelling, but my dad is standing firm. He told Sarah that if she and Lily can't respect his daughter, maybe they should rethink their living situation. As for the wedding, plans are moving forward. Emma and my other bridesmaids have been incredibly supportive. They've offered to run interference if Lily tries to show up uninvited. Alex and I are also considering hiring security, just in case. I'm still processing everything that's happened. While part of me is glad the truth is finally out, another part is mourning the family I wished I had. But I'm more certain than ever that keeping Lily out of my wedding is the right choice. I deserve to have a day that's about celebrating my love with Alex, not managing my sister's drama. Thank you all again for your support and advice. It's given me the strength to stand up for myself. I'll update again if anything significant happens. Update 2. Things have escalated quickly since my last update. Here's what's happened. My dad moved out of the house he shared with Sarah and Lily. He said he needed time to think about their relationship and his priorities. He's staying with my uncle for now. This is the first time in 25 years that he's stood up to Sarah, and I can tell it's hard for him. He calls me every day, sometimes just to talk about random things like we used to when I was little. Sarah is furious about Dad leaving. She's been calling and texting him nonstop, alternating between begging him to come home and threatening divorce. She's accused him of abandoning his family and choosing me over Lily. When he stopped responding to her messages, she started leaving nasty voicemails for me, blaming me for destroying her marriage and poisoning my dad against them. Lily's behavior has gotten worse. Last week, she showed up at my apartment unannounced, clearly drunk. She alternated between sobbing apologies and screaming insults. She said she hated me for turning Dad against her and ruining her perfect family. When I refused to let her in, she tried to force her way past me. She was yelling about how she'd always been better than me, and how it wasn't fair that I was stealing Dad. Thankfully, my neighbor heard the commotion and came to help. Lily left, but not before threatening to ruin my special day. I filed a police report about Lily's behavior and got a restraining order against her. I also hired extra security for the wedding, just in case. Alex has been amazing through all of this. He's taken time off work to be with me and has been handling a lot of the wedding details so I can deal with the family drama. To my surprise, several of my aunts and cousins have rallied around me. They've been helping with wedding preparations and offering emotional support. My Aunt Jane, Dad's sister, even offered to walk me down the aisle if my dad doesn't come. She told me she always suspected. Something was off with how Sarah and Lily treated me, but she didn't want to interfere. She apologized for not speaking up sooner. Speaking of my dad, he called yesterday. He said he's been doing a lot of thinking and realizes how much he failed me growing up. He asked if he could still walk me down the aisle. He said he'd understand if I said no, but he hopes I'll give him a chance to start making things right. I told him I'd think about it. I'm torn about my dad. On one hand, I'm glad he's finally standing up for me. On the other, it's hard to forget all the times he didn't. Alex says it's up to me, but he thinks my dad is genuinely trying to make amends. He pointed out that Dad is risking his marriage to support me now. The wedding is in 2 weeks. Despite all the drama, I'm excited to marry Alex. He's been my rock through all of this. Whatever happens with my family, I know I'll have a wonderful husband by my side. I'm still anxious about what Lily might do. Even with the restraining order, I'm worried she'll try something. But I'm trying to focus on the positive. I have Alex, supportive friends, and family members who are finally seeing the truth. For the first time in my life, I feel like I'm not alone in this. Update 3. The wedding was yesterday, and it was beautiful despite some last-minute drama. 2 days before the wedding, Sarah showed up at my apartment. She was crying and begging me to let Lily be a bridesmaid. She said Lily was devastated about being excluded and that I was breaking her heart. When I stood firm, Sarah's tone changed. She started guilt-tripping me, saying I was tearing the family apart and that I'd regret this when I'm older. I told Sarah to leave. As Sarah was leaving, she said something that shocked me. She admitted that she had encouraged Lily's behavior towards me growing up. She was jealous of the bond I had with my dad and wanted to drive a wedge between us. She said she regretted it now, but it was too late for me to forgive her. I was stunned. I always suspected Sarah resented me, but hearing her admit it was overwhelming. I told my dad about Sarah's confession, He was furious and said this was the last straw. He's filing for divorce. He apologized again for not protecting me and promised to do better going forward. On the wedding day, everything went smoothly until the ceremony started. I had decided to let my dad walk me down the aisle. As we were walking, I heard a commotion at the back of the venue. Lily had shown up, drunk and wearing a white dress. She was screaming about how I'd stolen her family and that she was the real bride. Thankfully, the security team quickly and quietly removed her before she could ruin the ceremony. Most of our guests didn't even realize what had happened. My dad squeezed my hand reassuringly as we continued down the aisle. I was shaken, but seeing Alex's loving smile at the altar helped calm me down. The rest of the wedding was perfect. Alex and I exchanged our vows, surrounded by people who truly love and support us. During the reception, my dad gave a heartfelt speech. He apologized publicly for his past mistakes and promised to be a better father and grandfather in the future. There wasn't a dry eye in the room. Emma, my maid of honor, gave a touching speech about our friendship. She talked about how she'd seen me grow stronger over the years and how happy she was that I'd found someone who truly appreciated me. Alex's best man had everyone laughing with stories from their college days. The party went on late into the night. I danced with my dad, laughed with my friends, and felt truly happy and loved. It was everything I dreamed of and more. This morning, I woke up to missed calls from Sarah and several angry texts from Lily. I decided not to read them. I'm done letting them control my emotions. I've blocked their numbers and social media accounts. My dad says he'll handle any necessary communication with them regarding the divorce. Alex and I are leaving for our honeymoon tomorrow. We're going to a beach resort where we can relax and enjoy being newlyweds. I'm looking forward to starting this new chapter of my life with a husband who loves me and a newfound sense of self-worth. I know there will probably be more family drama in the future, especially with the divorce proceedings. But for now, I'm choosing to focus on the positive. I have a wonderful husband, supportive friends, and a dad who's finally stepping up. For the first time in my life, I feel truly happy and at peace. Thank you all for your support throughout this journey. Your advice and encouragement gave me the strength to stand up for myself and have the wedding I deserved. I'm grateful for this community and the kindness you've shown me.